We're going to make some Nappa coleslaw. Healthy cabbage, isn't it? I'm going to take the cabbage and we're going to soak it in salt water to soften it up a little. I don't like a hard, crunchy cabbage. I like it a little softer, so that's what I do. Onion, honey, little lemon juice, and the base for the dressing is going to be this Greek yogurt, which is very good for you. And a piece of carrot. One way or another, by knife or by machine, just try to cut the cabbage as thin as you can. The carrots, I'll probably use my, I forgot what they call it, the shredder, you know, those metal. I'll use that, but this cabbage, I can get it thin enough with a knife. So you want it nice and fine like that. And then we're going to put this in a bowl and soak it in salt water. There's the cabbage in the salted water, and it tastes salty. So later, when we're finishing up this slaw, we're not going to add any more salt. Now, I'm using yogurt, but if you want to make this with mayonnaise, just substitute the yogurt with mayonnaise. And I'm putting honey into it, which is better for you than plain white granulated sugar. And this will sit for about 2 hours, maybe less. Then I'll put it in a colander and put weight on it to press it dry. So while we're waiting for the cabbage to soak and soften up, I use my little tiny grater for the carrots, and you could tell, well, you can't go all the way, so the last little piece before you start grating your fingers is like in the forefront there. I did that by hand, so all the carrots are ready. Onions I did by hand, and I'm adding a little fresh parsley to this for color. So it's now just waiting for the cabbage. Well, it's been only a half hour. This cabbage is nice and soft. It's different than regular white cabbage, which is very firm. So that's all we needed, was a half hour. And what we do next is pour it into a colander and weight it down. So the same bowl that we have fits in there perfect. We're going to just fill it up with water. And we'll sit it in this pan and watch the amount of liquid that is pressed through. I'll give this about 15-20 minutes and we'll see what it looks like. If it stops dripping, then we'll continue. Well, you can give it a little helping hand. Just press down, leave it, and walk away. If you've noticed when you've eaten coleslaw, wherever, all the liquid seems watery in the bottom of the little dish that they give you. So if it's pressed like this, it shouldn't happen. And the salt keeps on, when they put salt into cabbage, keeps on pulling the moisture out of the cabbage. That's what salt does. That's why it winds up like that. So if you really press it well, you're going to have a nice cabbage that the sauce clings to it nicely. Not that it's too much sauce, just the right amount and not watery. Well, it's been a half hour. That's enough time. Just be careful. You don't want to ruin what you did by pouring the water back in there. So after the water comes out, I'm going to use the same bowl to finish the slaw. And see how much of the liquid? That's pretty good. That's quite a bit that we pressed out. So the cabbage should be dry. I'll wipe that bowl out and then we'll finish it up. Place the cabbage back in the bowl. And one of the ingredients we're going to be very careful with, and I'm going to add it slowly because the worst thing in cabbage is to have a little bit too much onion. Now I'm just going to toss the dry ingredients. The amount of carrots look pretty good. The amount of parsley is nice. So now I'm going to get the dressing in there. Yeah, it looks good. That's what I like, the color. Well, I put everything in there. This is a 1/4 cup of finely julienne of onions. That's about how much I put in there. You might want a little less, you might want a little more. But that's good. And it tastes entirely different because it doesn't have mayonnaise, but it has yogurt. But I think this is a little bit healthier, seeing that it's made with the that Greek yogurt, 0%. Looks good. I'm enjoying it, and the cabbage has a different flavor than white cabbage, so it's a very different type of slaw. Try it, you'll like it if you like Nappa cabbage.